Exhibition season continues tonight in Lexington. Mark Pope's Wildcats are riding high after passing a huge first step. Tonight, though, their latest challenge comes from a Georgetown team trying to take the next step. And we say welcome to Rupp Arena with the former Wildcat great Travis Ford. I'm Noah Frary, and the energy in Lexington reached a fever pitch last week with Kentucky's win over #1 Purdue. Travis, the offense looked good, but it was the defense that got all the headlines.
Well, the key was Kentucky's defense did an incredible job, a great job of using their defense to create offense. And how do you do that? Steals and deflections, aggressive rotations. And these steals led to easy points on the other end and allowed them to get 15 fast break points, easy threes, easy layups, defense creating offense.
Kentucky's depth winning the night. 10 Wildcats playing just 15 minutes in that game. They all scored, and it was the defense, 18% against the Purdue team that shot it well last year. Tonight, though, this Kentucky defense has to contend against Malik Mack, who's one of the best scorers in the Big East.
A quick, crafty, lefty scoring point guard. The ball will be in his hands a lot tonight, Malik Mack.
And we are one step closer to the upcoming college basketball season. It's Malik Mack and the Georgetown Hoyas who win the opening tip. Our officials today, Joe Lindsay, Jeb Hartness, and Vladimir Voyard-Tadal. And an early finish inside by Julius Halifanoa. This Kentucky team without Denzel Aberdeen tonight. Colin Chandler getting the start at the point guard position for the first time in his career.
Yeah, look for them to try to get Oweh going early tonight. He's somebody who I know they're going to the rim to his right, clearing out the court. I think he's going to be aggressive tonight. Look for Oweh to be very aggressive.
Georgetown starting five led by Malik Mack, but KJ Lewis, a second team all Big East pick in the preseason after coming over from Arizona. There's Mack, step back over Chandler, short. Oweh with the rebound, and the Cats will push in transition. Transition D from this Georgetown team. Here's Trent Noah. Too strong on the three, but a foul inside. They go against Isaiah Abraham.
Kentucky's making an emphasis to really push the basketball, especially after long shots. One, Ed Cooley, Georgetown's head coach, was really concerned about getting back transition defensively and worried about Kentucky's speed.
Oweh wide open for three. He'll hit it. The first 5 in this game for Double O.
Pretty good start. Driving layup, open three.
A Georgetown team in the third year under Ed Cooley.
In the half court, Georgetown will run a lot of sets. The ball will eventually get back into Malik Mack's hand and let him create.
He finds an open Caleb Williams, who answers right back.
Their last exhibition game scored 20 points, made 4 threes. He can really knock it down.
Would have been a career high if it had counted. There's Trent Noah trying to get open.
Look for Georgetown to be aggressive on the ball defensively.
Dioubate working down low. Kick out for Oweh. Oweh pulls over Lewis. Short with the three. There's Mack, got a step on the Cats defense, and the teardrop goes.
That's where he's dangerous. Different speeds, can get in the lane, floaters. Left-handers are always a little more difficult to guard, but he is a high-level scorer.
Dioubate downhill kicks. Oweh, extra pass. This is Noah. Offensive rebound and the slam for Dioubate.
Dioubate seems like he's always around the ball in the right place at the right time. He's going to be a big, big part of this Kentucky basketball team this year. He does a little bit of everything.
One of the big additions in the transfer portal for Mark Pope, coming over from Alabama after a Elite Eight run last year. Inside the foul, and Abraham will have a chance for three.
Abraham, a transfer from UConn, is a big physical wing. Got the start tonight, didn't start their last game, but they think he could be really, really good. A transfer from UConn who got a lot of on a good UConn team.
Mark Pope's team coming in 9th in the preseason polling, but already a win over #1 Purdue. A notch on the belt here early on in the season. But Travis, how much can you really take from these exhibition games?
Well, you're learning a lot about your basketball team this time of year. And don't think for a second that these coaches aren't trying to win these games. And I think you saw from Kentucky versus Purdue just how much improved defensively Kentucky is.
Garrison stroking the three, tied at 10 here in the early stages. An offensive game here early on. Lewis, spot up, in and out. He was in the bottom 6th percentile in three-point shooting a year ago at Arizona. That'll have to improve this year. A lot of ball pressure there as Noah gets inside, double teamed. And a tie-up will keep it with Kentucky. Ed Cooley, in his 3rd season, led this Georgetown team to a 9-win improvement a year ago. He thinks the next step for this program is once again competing in a very talented Big East.
Yeah, I think this is going to be his best Georgetown team to date. He had an incredible run at Providence, 7, 8 NCAA tournaments there, and just did an incredible job.
5 on the shot clock. The roll for Garrison. The hook won't go, and the rebound goes to Williams. Mack throws it away.
Defense creating offense.
And Chandler fouled. First foul on Caleb Williams will put Colin Chandler at the free throw line.
Ball screen defense, just a poor pass to the feet of the big man, and great advance pass. But Kentucky is making an emphasis this year to run more, pitch the ball ahead, advance passing. You saw it last game against Purdue, led to easy threes, led to some dunks.
Brandon Garrison, Colin Chandler, Trent Noah, and Otega Oweh. 4 returners who played major minutes last year, all in the starting lineup. Travis, when's the last time you saw 4 returners in a starting lineup for this Kentucky side?
Almost never.
It's been a while.
Nowadays, that's unheard of with the transfer portal. Guys leaving.
Kentucky playing a bit short-handed tonight without Denzel Aberdeen. We were told that was more precautionary in nature. Jalen Lowe still out, and all of Lexington waiting to see when Jaden Quaintance makes his return. A tight game early on. Oh, great pass inside, and the finish. Iwuchekwu, who was at St. John's a year ago, will shoot free throws when we come back. We've got a battle in the early going. Ed Cooley's team leading at the moment. Georgetown staked to an early edge over the 9th-ranked Cats, and the last time these two teams met, Travis Ronald Reagan was still president. 1984, they met in a national semifinal. Georgetown, led by Patrick Ewing and others, would go on to win that game and then face Hakeem Olajuwon in the national title game.
Yeah, that's not two centers that you would love to have today. Sam Bowie and Patrick Ewing, 2 all-time greats. Sam Bowie, obviously an All-American and great player here at Kentucky, and Patrick Ewing ended up having an incredible NBA career, and just 2 great centers.
Something a lot of Kentucky fans still love to talk about. Sam Bowie, who was he drafted ahead of?
One Michael Jordan. Sam Bowie, just a unbelievable person, great player, somebody who's still around Lexington and just had a lot of great moments in the blue and white.
Malachi Moreno making his debut in this game, set to check in. The freshman playing on his birthday last week had a strong performance in his debut in front of Big Blue Nation.
Georgetown, after free throws, they like to press, like to get it. Sometimes it's a 2-2-1, just to apply a little pressure on free throws and dead balls. Try to slow Kentucky down a little bit.
Top 25 talent Jasper Johnson has made his way onto the floor as Dioubate steps into the 3, and it hits every part of the basket and still goes down.
And Dioubate stayed extra after shoot-around, was shooting a lot of threes. It's good to see it go down and the hard work paying off.
Georgetown's gotten off to a great shooting start in this game against this Kentucky defense. Iwuchekwu, hard to the rim, couldn't finish. Oweh draws the mismatch. He'll use it. Gets downhill. Wanted the foul, didn't get it, but it will stay with Kentucky.
You went from Kentucky, who had 4 returners on the court, to now 4 new players on the court, and Oweh forcing things a little bit there, but
It will be Kentucky basketball here. 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Dioubate out. A couple of changes coming here for Georgetown as well. First look at Kayvon Mulready, as well as Jaden Ford.
Georgetown likes to be aggressive defensively on underneath out of bounds plays. You see they're going for steals, aggressive on the ball. A little bit different defense there. It's a zone defense that's camouflaged a little bit, and then they go into their man-to-man. But they've had a lot of success with it.
They create a lot of pressure on the basketball. We saw in their matchup against George Washington earlier in this preseason, 13 steals in this game. Do they have to get close to that number to hang with Kentucky tonight?
Absolutely, because that's part of Georgetown's identity. They need to play, if they're going to have a chance here, they're going to have to make some threes and create some steals and try to make Kentucky a little uncomfortable. But you're going to see them being patient in the half court.
Williams turns the corner, kicks, Mulready. Way short on the three, airballed it, and now loses it off the left thigh. A wasted possession there for the Hoyas. Jasper Johnson coming off of a special performance in his first game in the blue and white. Team leading 15 points. The step back, that was a 2. Colin Chandler, though, going to track down the long O board. And now a foul called against KJ Lewis.
This is such a different game than the Purdue game. Georgetown is a much more physical, aggressive basketball team, where Purdue was a much more predictable team, especially on the offensive end. Ran a lot of set plays, very predictable. Played in the gaps defensively. This Georgetown team's almost the exact opposite. They're going to be more aggressive, more physical defensively, try to create more steals, get out on the fast break a little bit more.
And in a league like the SEC, where Kentucky's going to see a lot of physicality, it's a great matchup.
This is more similar to an SEC team.
Williams long with the 3. That foul a moment ago was actually on Kayvon Mulready, his first. There's Ford driving baseline, double teamed, but it stays with the Hoyas. The Georgetown team, as we mentioned, expected to be pretty good on defense this year, but offense was going to be a little bit of a question mark after you lose players like Sorber and Peavy and Epps from a year ago.
2 guys who are on NBA rosters right now.
And Cooley having to replace 75% from a season ago. Went into the transfer portal. Came out with 6 high major guys. Already working on Chandler. Kicks to the corner. That was a great find. Langston Love over Moreno.
Great
and
defensive
Jelavic
possession.
comes down with the rebound. He'll push. Backdoor pass.
Nice.
Jelavic. Battling. Throws it up. It goes.
Because of Georgetown's aggressive defense, they overplay a lot. Look for Kentucky to get some back doors, some back cuts, easy layups. Jelavic, I'm a big fan. I think as the season goes on, he's just going to get better and better and better. He really affects the game in a lot of different ways, can really shoot it for his size, and has a great understanding of the game.
At 4 position for Kentucky, him and Dioubate, they're both going to give you very unique looks.
Unique looks in a different way. Diabate is going to be the physical presence. Jelavic's going to be more of a skilled presence and stretch the offense with his shooting.
Jelavic getting in the passing lane, gambled. There's Jeremiah Williams, pulls up over Jelavic and hits the tough 2.
Basket by Williams.
A slugfest early on. Chandler pulls the 3. No good as the rebound comes down for Langston Love. Did not play in that game against George Washington due to injury, but back in there. They were hoping to get him about 18 minutes in this game. Here's Mulready. No good. Johnson lost the handle. Moreno, though, keeps it alive.
Refs letting them play a little bit. A lot of aggressiveness on both ends.
Here's Williams. He'll trigger the three. No good. Jelavic with an O board. Kentucky trying to take advantage of the second chance. Backdoor cut. Williams will head to the line. The foul will go on Langston Love. It'll be his first.
One way to loosen up an aggressive defense like Georgetown is to get things going to the basket. Try to get to the foul line. Obviously, Georgetown is talking to Ed Cooley, listen to him as shoot around. They want to try to apply as much pressure as they can, try to create turnovers. The way to combat that for Kentucky is to get to the rim, try to get fouled, and that will loosen it up. The more fouls the referees call, that's probably in favor of Kentucky.
Both teams still early on, not a ton of film to go on here with just the second game that both of these teams have played and largely new rosters this season.
Coaches are still going to try different rotations, these still being exhibition games. They want to win, but they're still looking at different lineups, what's working, what's not working.
Kentucky a little sluggish from the free throw line early, just 1 of 5. There's Williams, finds some open real estate, he's fouled. First foul on Jasper Johnson, the freshman out of Lexington, Kentucky. Consensus 5-star prospect in the class of 2025.
You're going to see Georgetown use a lot of ball screens. Everything, all their movement ends up into a ball screen and trying to create to score or try to dish short rolls, long rolls to the bigs to the rim or try to draw the defense in and kick back out. But almost everything Georgetown does ends up in a ball screen.
What makes those ball screens so difficult to defend?
Well, you're putting the defense at a disadvantage. On a ball screen defense, normally 2 guys have to play the ball, and you're going to rely on rotations behind the ball in order to make it effective defensively.
There's Trent Noah trying to break the tie. Again, short. Kentucky just shooting 3 of 10 from 3 here early on. Williams was looking for the roll. Moreno, though, threw his hands up. Johnson wide open for 3. He'll hit it.
Great ball movement. Great skip pass by Trent Noah and an extra pass to Jasper Johnson. But that's all created by the deflection and steal by Malachi Moreno.
Johnson hit 3 threes in that 15-point performance against the #1 ranked Boilermakers last Friday. That's his first in this game. Mulready downhill, threw it up. Another rebound for Kentucky, an edge in that department here early. Johnson thinking about another.
A little heat check, I think.
Here's Love inside. Moreno might have got a piece of it. Kentucky with numbers. Back for Jelavic. And just threw that off the defender's foot.
Right now, you see 2 teams that are a little bit struggling offensively a little bit. Some tough threes, some turnovers.
Noah spinning on the freshman and gets the 2 to go. He played in just 6 games a year ago. Here's Jasper Johnson, long on the 3.
Really being aggressive early in the shot clock, very aggressive.
Extra pass to the best 3-point shooter on Georgetown, and Mulready answers the call.
That's what Mulready does. He can shoot from deep. Coach Cooley mentioned today he might be their best 3-point shooter on Georgetown's team.
Georgetown making the trip to Lexington for the first time since 1985. They have a 2-point lead. Here in the 3rd season under Ed Cooley, picked 6th in the Big East preseason poll. Travis, you think kind of outside of St. John's and UConn, it feels like the Big East right now kind of wide open in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, St. John's and UConn are the cream of the crop, without question. After that, you can shake them up and who knows what's going to happen. I think this Georgetown team's got a chance by conference play to be a really good basketball team and finish in the upper half of the Big East. But I think UConn and St. John's are two teams that can win a national title.
This Hoyas team bringing in quite a bit more experience. A year ago, they were in the bottom third in the NCAA in terms of experience. And Travis, you've been around the game of college basketball for a long time, a lot recently. You have to have experience to win at this level.
You do, and Ed Coolidge brought in big-time transfers from Arizona, from UConn, from Baylor, players that are used to winning. This program, Georgetown's got incredible basketball tradition, and Ed Cooley, I think this is the year they take the next step.
6 high major transfers in total. We've already seen a couple of them make impacts early on. Langston Love, I think, could be one of the breakout players in the Big East this year, coming over from Baylor, where he's played over 20 minutes per game over the last 4 seasons. Kentucky trying to regroup on offense, trailing here early on. It kind of felt like at times last Friday night against Purdue, it kind of felt easy for Kentucky. Tonight, that's not been the case.
Yeah, tonight's a little bit more of a grind. A lot of that has to do with Kentucky taking a lot of quick shots, some tough threes. It's not allowing their offense to work and to get into the flow. They'll hit their mark in transition. They'll start running their offense.
Starters back on the floor for Mark Pope's side. Kentucky hasn't scored in over 2.5 minutes.
And Kentucky's having to adapt to a lot more physicality than they did the other night.
There's Chandler. Drove into some trees, had it blocked.
You'll see Mack, he'll take control of Georgetown's offense. They will set it up and try to get certain cuts, certain mismatches.
Here's Lewis, great find, and the finish inside for Deshaun Harris-Smith, who transferred over from Maryland, a former All-Big Ten freshman honoree. There's that backdoor cut. Kick out for Noah. Oweh spins. I don't know how he kept that basketball and throws it in the tin nonetheless.
What a difficult shot. Left-handed falling down off the glass. But that's why Oweh's preseason player of the year in the SEC.
And Mack with the quick answer on the other end.
Yeah, Mack will lull you to sleep at times, and then all of a sudden he'll use his quickness to get to the rim.
Not you though, Travis. You've already had a couple cups of coffee tonight, right?
Yeah.
Dioubate fouled at the top. It goes on KJ Lewis, his first. And that'll take us to a break here in Lexington. Otega Oweh, double O. Off to a great start to this game. 7 points for Kentucky. But it's Georgetown by 4 at the under 8. First half, alongside the former Wildcat great Travis Ford, I'm Noah Frary. And Travis, one of the things you were just mentioning to me off air is you feel like right now Kentucky's offense is not helping their defense.
Yeah, Kentucky's having to adjust to the physicality of Georgetown, and it's forced them into some very tough shots, which in turn puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And Kentucky's shot a couple quick threes. Kentucky will get into the flow, but right now their offense is kind of it's hurting their defense a little bit. That's why Georgetown's shooting 56% from the field.
How much is the absence of Denzel Aberdeen and Jalen Lowe kind of looming over this game?
A lot. That's your starting point guard and backup point guard.
Garrison threw it away. Boy is in transition, now slowing it down. Olaipa Noah, great find, and Mack finishes at the rim. A defensive breakdown there for Kentucky. The foul there called on Caleb Williams. It'll be his second.
This is the play where they normally throw it back to Mack, and this time they've thrown it back to him the last 5 or 6 times. This time he faked the catch, sets him up for an easy back door.
Malik Mack could really become one of those premier scorers in the Big East Conference this year. Over 31 points per game in 2 postseason games last year, including 37 against Washington State. So this is a player that can really put the basketball in the rim.
He's known for his scoring, but he can also create for his teammates. Really good at using ball screens, as we've seen. He plays low to the ground, very quick.
I thought it was interesting when we talked to Ed Cooley earlier today. He said the one thing we felt when looking back at last season is at times Malik Mack had to carry too heavy of a load. They'd like to maybe rein that in a little bit this year in hopes that he can provide better bursts over time.
Yeah, I think KJ Lewis helped him a little bit, take the scoring load off. Love from the transfer from Baylor. But in order for Georgetown to be successful, they need Mack to play well.
Here's Lewis in Georgetown, 6 for their last 6 from the field.
Now, Georgetown is scoring out of their offense, off all their options, off down screens, off back cuts, really scoring out of their offense.
Meanwhile, Kentucky finding some tough looks. Oweh got a tough look. He's fouled. It'll be on Deshaun Harris-Smith, and we'll put Otega Oweh at the free throw line.
Just a well-ran set, coming off a down screen, curled it, 1 dribble pull-up. Easy offense. But Lewis is that one guy for Georgetown that can help Mack relieve some of that load as far as scoring pressure.
When you look backcourt this year for Georgetown, if you're Kentucky, one of the bright spots here early on, you have to like how assertive Otega Oweh has been in this offense.
Yeah, I just felt, he played a really good game against Purdue, and I think, Oweh has a chance to really carry this Kentucky team, and one way is by scoring, mostly by defense and making plays off his defense and driving, getting to the foul line. And without the point guards playing, and I thought he might be a little bit more aggressive without the point guards.
1 of 2 on that trip to the free throw line. Here's Lewis, an easy J, missed it, and the rebound goes to Oweh. Garrison running the floor, Oweh throws it away. Here's Mack driving and fouled.
The foul is on Oweh. That's his first and the team's fourth.
Oweh looking ahead. Not a bad idea, but 1 turnover leads to an easy basket on the other end, or an easy foul with Mack going to the foul line.
Malik Mack, Georgetown's leading scorer here in the early stages, now with 7 after that made free throw. Began his collegiate career at Harvard, was a 17-plus point per game scorer, but comes home to the DMV. And that's something Hoyas fans love to see, guys on this roster that are from that greater Washington, D.C. area. Largest lead of the game for Georgetown at 7. Struggling to get it to Dioubate. Johnson slithers inside and throws it up off the glass.
Jasper Johnson has unique ability to make difficult shots.
Oh, a breakdown here. Abraham inside, the easy 2. I've seen a number of just those defensive lapses for this Kentucky side.
Dioubate tried to gamble for a steal, left his man.
The block there for Halifa Noah.
Great execution there by Kentucky, Oweh and Garrison. And that was an area Ed Cooley was concerned about, was ball screen defense. There was a breakdown there, ball screen defense, because there was no weak side for Georgetown, which almost led to an easy dunk for Garrison.
Halifa Noah checking out of the ball game. Only played 6 games last year after a season-ending injury. Here's Garrison on the slip, teardrop goes.
Same play, but towards the middle of the court. Just what they call a short row pocket pass.
Some good defense inside. Oweh had that one deflected. Thrown ahead for Lewis. Driving on Jelavic. Count it, and the basket.
Jelavic held his ground, just kind of gave in a little bit. The turnovers are really hurting Kentucky right now, especially fast break turnovers are leading to easy opportunities on the other end.
4 steals for Georgetown here in these early stages. 6 points off the fast break. You get the sense right now, it kind of feels like Georgetown maybe beating Kentucky at some of their own game.
Yeah, for what we saw Kentucky do to Purdue, Georgetown's doing a little bit of that, using their defense to create offense.
Lewis gambles that time, picks up his second.
And I think Kentucky will adjust. It's going to take a little bit of time because Purdue's defense was much more passive, positional defense, where Georgetown's defense is much more aggressive in trying to create turnovers.
Cats in the bonus here. As Trent Noah steps to the free throw line for the front end of the 1-and-1.
Right now, Coach Pope's looking for different lineups, using a lot of different lineups, trying to figure out which one's going to work.
Noah sinks the first. This was a great stat, Travis, that I saw on Twitter. You look at the Purdue game, and it was Rare Rookies on X that did this work, but 18 different unique lineup combinations for Mark Pope against Purdue.
And I think that's the makeup of his team right now. Got a lot of players that can play different positions, very versatile, and I think that is a strength of Kentucky.
10 different players playing over 15 minutes per game in that exhibition win over the #1 ranked team in the country. But in trouble right now against Georgetown. Here's Mack into the paint. The runner goes.
Again, Mack using a ball screen, letting him get to his left. That's very dangerous.
Double figures now for Malik Mack to lead all scorers. How do you jumpstart the offense if you're Kentucky?
Try to get 3, 4, 5 passes, get the ball moving from side to side. Use your offense to score. Right now is a lot of one-on-one.
Georgetown's had a lot of great looks. They've been taking advantage. Not that time. Moreno wide open for 3. He'll knock it down.
That's a dangerous weapon if he can step out and start making a 3. He was out here early before the game with a coach working on those 3s.
A Scott County native making a lot of fans in Big Blue Nation with his early season play. Malik Mack split the double team downhill. He's got 12. Kentucky no answers. Now the turnover. And a foul goes against Moreno. And some uncharacteristic mistakes here for Mark Pope's side. Malik Mack putting on a show so far tonight. Double figures for 2 in blue. Georgetown up 8 on the Cats. Great start to the night for the Georgetown Hoyas, and specifically one Malik Mack.
Yeah, Mack's quickness is really bothering Kentucky right now. But one thing he can do, he can get hot. He has proven he can score. And when he gets going, he's hard to stop, going right or left.
12 points here for Malik Mack, 5 of 6. And if there's one knock on Mack's game, it's sometimes that field goal percentage isn't great. It was just 38% last year, but he's taking what the defense is giving him right now, Travis.
Well, he was, last year he was put in a position where he was having to score and take a lot of shots that were difficult shots. As he continues to get better players around him, it makes it easier and your percentages go up. But, I watched their George Washington game, their last exhibition game that they played. I thought he really shot a great percentage, 5 for 8, shot well from the three-point line, really looked like he's really trying to run the team first and score second. But, again, Malik Mack has to play well in order for Georgetown to have success.
And I think that's some of the maturation, too, that Kentucky fans also want to see out of Jalen Lowe, and he's not in the game tonight, but a similar story arc last year at Pittsburgh. Didn't take a lot of great shots, but they're hoping that here at Kentucky, amongst a better lineup of people, that some of those percentages are going to improve as you see the Cats missing some big pieces tonight.
Well, no question. Jalen Lowe and Malik Mack are very similar as far as their strengths are concerned. Both are very good scoring point guards, both left-handed. Very good comparison.
Kentucky without Jalen Lowe. Denzel Aberdeen scratched before this game, and the Cats hoping to get Jaden Quaintance back at some point this season. Kentucky trailing by double figures as Trent Noah steps into the three. That reignites Big Blue Nation.
It's good to see him see a ball go through the net. That's all Trent Noah needs, just to see one or two go in, and he can get hot.
Abraham almost lost it. Kentucky now looking for a stop on defense. Mack, a tough three, in and out. And a foul underneath. That's going to go against Jelavic.
Good defensive possession there by Kentucky. Got Georgetown in a late shot clock situation. Made Mack take a tough shot, but you don't come up with the rebound.
Foul on Jelavic, also the 7th team foul on Kentucky, meaning Iwuchukwu at the free throw line. Played for St. John's a year ago. Rick Pitino, your former head coach.
Yeah, I've seen him play a couple times last season.
What do you think he can do this year at Georgetown?
He can be a shot blocker, rebounder. Not known as necessarily an offensive threat, but it's gotten better.
Colin Chandler looking for Garrison. Wide open in the corner. It's Jelavic in and out on the three. Iwuchukwu with the rebound.
That's great execution, though, by Kentucky. You keep running your offense like that, good things will happen.
One matchup inside. Iwuchukwu spun into the double team and finishes nonetheless.
Don't forget what I said about not an offensive threat. That's a turnaround fall away by your 7'1" center.
Sometimes you have to live with some of those shots as a coach, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do all the scouting and the scouting reports, and then a guy just goes out and makes a play.
Yeah. Patience. Patience in the post is key. Patience. He's patient and creates space by a fall away against a very good defender in Brandon Garrison.
It'll be fascinating to see, too, as the season progresses. Last year he plays just 7 minutes per game. How does an increased role lead to maybe more confidence?
Yeah, without question. That's all any player usually needs is just playing time.
There's Oweh, dives to the cup and is fouled.
Again, there's Kentucky getting fouled, getting a great shot at the rim out of their offense. That play was created by an X-cut off the post that they work on, that they do. That's part of their offense. And that's what they were so good at against Purdue. Two things. They got out on the fast break a lot, and they were great at execution in the half court.
Ortega Oweh at the free throw line. Kentucky's leading scorer misses the first. SEC preseason player of the year on the NABC National Player of the Year watch list that was announced today. Also a Jerry West Award watch list player. Some big expectations for Ortega Oweh, who chose to withdraw from the NBA draft and come back to college.
Yeah, you know, he's a player that can carry a team because he can do it on both ends. And, you know, as he continues to learn this new role of kind of being the guy, I think he's going to have an incredible year. There's Malik Mack again, getting in the paint. A lot of his, all his points have come in the paint.
14 for Mack. He's carrying Georgetown right now. Lead back to double figures.
Back cut.
There's Noah, watches the defender fly by, couldn't hit the bunny. Iwuchukwu over Moreno. And Moreno comes up with the rebound. Under a minute to go in this first half from Rupp Arena. Oweh with 9 for Kentucky. Tough runner, no good. Moreno couldn't come down with the O-board. There's Jeremiah Williams in transition. Mack feeling it. Short with the 3. About an 8-second difference between shot and game clock. Chandler got a wide open three, triggers it and hits. And a timeout coming for Ed Cooley. Kentucky heating up from downtown and back within 7 on the Colin Chandler three.
One of the few open threes that they've had. Ball screen defense. One thing about Georgetown, they do not bring their big man up on ball screens. They play what they call, he's in a drop position, which allows, if you can get your man, the ball handler, if you can get your man into the screen, you're open on the other side.
Kentucky starting to find some rhythm offensively. Travis, what's working for them right now?
Well, they're getting some stops on the defensive end. Obviously, execution, I think they're doing a much better job of executing their offense and looking to get shots out of their offense rather than just playing a lot of one-on-one basketball. And again, I think it's just taking a little bit of time to adjust to the physicality of Georgetown.
Kentucky, though, finding themselves in an odd position. This is a team that throughout their history largely has dominated exhibition games. They haven't had a loss in an exhibition game in over a decade, and that wasn't even a collegiate team that they lost to.
Yeah, well, I think, across college basketball period, you're going to see teams, because of the new rule where you can play these type exhibitions against other really good Division I teams, you're going to see a lot of teams, that are going to have great season that might lose an exhibition game.
I think a lot of teams would love more exhibition games as we continue to progress. Shot clock off here. Georgetown can hold for the final shot of this first half. Jeremiah Williams with the basketball. Now finds Mack, a team high 14 in the first half. Williams travels. And now Kentucky will have one final shot in this opening period. Costly turnover.
Coach Cooley's not very happy after coming out of that timeout. Didn't execute the play that he wanted. Could have got the last shot. Now Kentucky's going to have a chance here.
Noah gets it into Oweh across midcourt. Oweh throws it up. It won't go. Not a good look, but just couldn't put it down. And Georgetown will lead by 7 at the break here in Lexington. Mark Pope's Wildcats on the losing side at the moment. Georgetown up by 7 at the break here inside Rupp Arena. Back in Lexington alongside the former Wildcat Gary Travis Ford, I'm Noah Frary, and Georgetown staked to a 7-point edge over the 9th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats, dominating in the paint in that first half, 24-12 for Ed Cooley's side. And for Kentucky, a first half that was in stark contrast to what we saw last Friday against Purdue. You get a look at some of the differentials. They give up 65 in that entirety of the game. They've already given up 46 so far tonight.
And I think a lot of that has to do with Kentucky's offense. Kentucky's defense was so good because they were executed offense. It allowed their defense to get into position. Right now, because they're struggling a little bit offensively, it's putting a lot of pressure on their defense. And Georgetown's a lot less predictable offensively. They're a lot more one-on-one oriented than Purdue was. Purdue's was a lot, they run a lot of set plays, very predictable. Georgetown's a lot less predictable.
I think it's worth mentioning as well, Kentucky without one of their defensive leaders tonight, and Denzel Aberdeen, who played a team-high 29 minutes in that win over Purdue. It feels like his absence may be looming a little bit large right now.
Yeah, I think so. He brings a lot on both sides. As you mentioned, Aberdeen's a great defensive player, somebody that would be good against Malik Mack right now. But this is a great opportunity for these other players for Kentucky to step up, defend, but they're going to have to slow Malik Mack down this second half.
What's the biggest key for Georgetown in the second half defensively against Kentucky?
Keep Kentucky out of transition, and they've done a great job of that the first half. On the other side, Kentucky needs to continue to run their offense, get to the second, maybe third option, or if they can get into the fast break, take some early quick threes that are open or get to the rim.
A 7-point Hoyas edge here at the break in Lexington. Both teams going back to their starters to begin this second half. Kentucky sluggish on offense for large swaths of that first half, though. Hot from downtown, hit 7 threes. Trent Noah hit a couple. Colin Chandler did. Oweh as well. Slip pass there. Oweh fouled.
Little give and go there. As Oweh his defender overplaying him, cut back door, had a layup, but they grabbed his arm.
First foul on Julius Olaifa-Noah, the sophomore out of Auckland, New Zealand. Expected to play a much bigger role down in the post this year with some notable departures from a season ago. Noah uses the screen. Garrison was open backside. Here's Chandler from the corner. Toilet bowls in and out.
That's good offense. Got to their second, third option, got in the paint, drew the defense, found the open man. Chandler's going to make those, but great offensive possession.
Malik Mack was the story for Georgetown in that first half. 14 points, mostly in the paint on 6 of 9 shooting. There's the backdoor cut and another finish over Oweh.
You could almost predict that coming with such a hot start by Malik Mack. You knew they were going to go back to him, and they set him up for a backdoor.
Oweh trying to create space on Lewis. Drives on Olaifa-Noah, couldn't finish. The follow-up, though, won't go as well. Now Mack will push the pace.
2 good shots.
And a blocking foul will go against Colin Chandler.
Yeah, that's just set up. That was set up coming out of the halftime. Ed Cooley did a great job setting that up, knowing that Malik Mack has the hot hand, and Kentucky's going to be overplaying him. Great play coming out of halftime.
So there is a script from you coaches.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Here's Mack triggering the 3. A rare miss on the evening. Battle for the basketball. Dioubate and into the floor. And now a foul going to go against Chandler. Ed Cooley wanted an intentional foul there.
It was close, but he was going for the ball.
Kentucky did not have a single player with multiple personals in that first half. Chandler, though, picking up 2 quick fouls here to begin the second half. Started at the point tonight with Aberdeen out. Jalen Lowe, the court at that position this evening. And that goes out off of the foot of Olaifa-Noah.
Kentucky showing a little bit of that physicality defensively that they showed against Purdue, creating a turnover.
Colin Chandler making his first career start at the point here tonight. Spent some time at that position down the stretch last season due to some injuries for this Kentucky team. Similar to the start at that position so far this year. Under 10 on the shot clock. Oweh working on Lewis, step back 3. Dioubate with the offensive rebound. Just goes right at Mack. They got the worst of it, but picks up the personal.
Yeah, Mack got hit pretty good, unintentionally, but he got hit pretty good. Dioubate is just a warrior underneath the basket. Great nose for the ball, great offensive rebounder, does a lot of the dirty work.
He's a player that when you look at this Kentucky team a year ago, I just don't really think they had that elite, gritty, defensive player that could also score from time to time.
No question, Dioubate is type defensive player that becomes very contagious to everybody else. How hard he plays, the effort, the toughness, the grit that he plays with.
Looked like Mack might have caught an elbow there, inadvertent from Dioubate. Kentucky basketball on the baseline, trailing by 9. It's been as many as 10 in this contest. Tight defense here from Mack. Chandler trying to find Dioubate, and that pass off the mark.
Right now, Kentucky's a little bit out of sorts offensively. A little bit to do with their point guards being out.
Have Jasper Johnson on the bench if you're Kentucky. We have not seen him yet in the second half. A.J. Lewis, the Arizona transfer, bowling his way inside, throws it up, and gets it to go.
Difficult shot.
Lead is 11 for Georgetown, matching their largest. Oweh inside, no. Garrison on the follow-up is going to head to the free throw line.
The foul is on Abraham. That's his second at the team's.
Lewis, a preseason first-team All-Big East selection. Very difficult shot going to his left. Good defense, just a little bit better offense.
Second personal on Isaiah Abraham, the UConn transfer.
Right now, Kentucky, everything in the offensive end is a little bit of a struggle. Everything's coming very hard. They need to try to get out on the fast break a little bit, open the court up a little bit. They'll hit a spurt. There will be a spurt that comes, and then start by getting out on the fast break.
Big Blue Nation trying to get behind their Wildcats here on this defensive possession. Lewis silences them. Just
Lewis,
tough basket after tough basket right now for Georgetown.
Yeah, that's just execution and one-on-one play at the end of the play, at the end of the execution by a very talented Lewis, who again is they're expecting big things. Somebody that can relieve Malik Mack of some of the pressure of scoring.
Another tough look here for KJ Lewis.
Yeah, that's just a 1-2 step back pull-up. Playing with a lot of confidence right now.
I thought it was interesting when we talked to Ed Cooley earlier today. He said, Lewis has never really been a focal point type of guy. We want him to become that here in this system.
Yeah, he played on a very, very good Arizona team last year and wasn't expected to do a whole lot. He's coming into a situation here, Georgetown. Georgetown loses 2 NBA players. They need him to be a double-digit scorer, and he is hot right now.
And he's into double figures tonight with 11.
He's in a rhythm. He is filling it one-on-one.
It was tough to get shots in that Arizona offense with Caleb Love heaving from about anywhere last year.
That's a good point.
Colin Chandler kicks out. Dioubate, the straight on three, no good. A 14-point edge for the Hoyas. First time they've played in this building since 1985.
That's what Kentucky needs.
Chandler on the break, throws it down.
Defense creating offense.
Shades of his Big Blue Madness dunk right there for Colin Chandler. And now a turnover. Kentucky looking for a jump start. Colin Chandler might have just given him one.
This will get the crowd going. This will get Kentucky's team going. This is exactly what they needed.
Kentucky trailing by 12 here to Georgetown, coming in 9th in the AP preseason poll. Travis, there's a lot of really good teams in college basketball this year. I think it's been a ton of fun to see the exhibition season. What have you learned about some of these teams so far?
Well, I think you see a lot of these teams that are returning players probably have a little bit of leg up. You look at this right here. The SEC is going to be just as good as it was last year. You got 3 teams in the top 10. I don't think the SEC is going to miss a beat from last season. I think the Big East is going to be better than it was last year after going on such an incredible run 3 or 4 years in a row. Had a little bit of a down year last year, but I think Georgetown will help the Big East. But I think these exhibition games is something all coaches, we've all been asking for this for the last 5 to 10 years, to be able to play these type games. I think it's good for the fans. I think it's good for your team. It puts a better product out there.
Jasper Johnson back into the game for Kentucky at point guard. I think the other thing these exhibition games do is it gives you a chance to play against another team as Jelavic finishes inside.
Great play coming out of the timeout by Mark Pope. Mark Pope's one of the great coaches of drawing something up at the beginning of a game, out of a timeout, after halftime. Does a great job of drawing up plays.
And a foul here goes against Jasper Johnson. Kentucky starting to put things together offensively.
You get Jasper going to his left. He's such a great scorer. All eyes are on him. Makes the right play.
He was over a 20-point per game scorer a season ago, an overtime elite. Trying to make that transition to the collegiate level. And the foul goes against Garrison on the entry. Iwuchukwu was thinking about slamming that one down.
Yeah, good execution, a high-low pass, a play that they worked on in shoot-around today, where a guard catches it up top and a big man sealing inside. Right now, Kentucky is on one of those small spurts that we talked about. it's going to be interesting to see right now, can they step up the defense to create more easy opportunities on the offensive end and really make a run here?
There's Caleb Williams pulling up over Cam Williams and hits from the free throw line.
Another example of good defense, just better offense. Tough shot, not an easy shot.
Georgetown's hit quite a few of those in this game. They need Oweh to get going if you're Kentucky. At 9 points in that first half. Great passing here. It leaves it for a Johnson three. Comes up short. Moreno, though, with the offensive rebound. And you don't love that look there from Johnson. Looked like he was in between. Wide open in the corner. It's Williams short on the three. And now Mack steps into a three of his own.
Offensive rebound, kickback, one of the most dangerous passes there is. It's always open. When a big man rebounds an offense get on a second shot, three-pointers are always open.
Oweh cutting to the rim. The foul, they call the continuation there as Kentucky will be at the line. Extra effort right now for Georgetown.
Yeah. Always used to teach our big men, if you can't go right back up, look right back out. It's the easiest time to get an open three. I would look for Kentucky to maybe start pressing after this free throw a little bit, maybe trying to pick up the tempo, do some things to try to get this game going a little bit faster than it is right now.
Mark Pope looking on, his team trailing by 14 here. Just less than 6 minutes into this second half. A different energy in this building tonight than you saw last Friday night when they took down the #1 team in the country. And I think it's a perfect time to say that's why, as fans, it's really hard to read into exhibition play.
It is. Right now, this, you know, you're talking about two different styles of basketball going against Purdue and Georgetown. This is great for Kentucky right now. Especially the younger players for Kentucky who haven't been through anything like this.
Oweh over Moreno, it won't go. Kentucky trying to get out and run. Johnson got the paint touch, open is Chandler, hit the three, but was standing out of bounds.
But I like that flow. Malachi Moreno with some great low post defense. The block got us out on get Kentucky out on the fast break. You get in the paint, you get an open three. Unfortunately, they step out of bounds.
Mack open again. Gets his own board, drives inside. Here comes the Cats. Johnson tried to throw it up to Chandler. Tough to get it over the 7'1" Vince Oweh.
It's the right idea. Just got to execute it and finish it. But Kentucky needs to get out on the fast break to relieve some of this pressure, get some easy points, be able to start pressing a little bit.
Moreno throws it away. He's had a sluggish evening, just 3 points after a strong showing in the win over Purdue last Friday night. Already trying to get open, finds a cutting Lewis inside. Second chance coming, and a foul is going to go on Cam Williams. Actually, it'll be on Colin Chandler. They said he made contact with his head. Third on Chandler.
Now Georgetown's running their offense at a very fast pace, half court-wise. You see guys just cutting, moving.
And Travis, to that point, if you're a Georgetown fan, you have to be very pleased with what you're seeing for your offense, because you came into this season feeling like, hey, we're going to be really good defensively, or are we going to be able to score enough? And tonight, the answer's been yes.
Well, they're getting some help by other guys like Lewis. And it's not all on Mack's shoulders. And once they get that, this is going to be a dangerous team, because their defense always, Ed Cooley's always played tough, hard-nosed, aggressive defense, always. But right now, they're doing a great job of sharing the ball, playing at a great pace offensively.
You really get the sense in this third year under Ed Cooley, maybe returning to some of that Hoya paranoia of the 80s, that grittiness, that toughness that really endeared this basketball team to their fan base.
I think this is, again, Ed Cooley's third year, the year that they take that next step to be an NCAA basketball team.
And you listen to a lot of people in the media, you listen to John Rothstein, and he thinks that this is a team that could very easily compete in the Big East this season.
Yeah, as Ed Cooley said today, this team fits his identity as a coach. Hard-nosed, tough, aggressive. You know, that's what he's been so successful with. Great aggressive defense. And this is good for Kentucky tonight, to go against such a physical basketball team.
They will go to the here in Lexington, 61-46. Georgetown over Kentucky. So they will take a look at the monitor. We're taking a break here from Lexington. We'll update you on what they find when we come back. While we were away, they were looking at that ball on the baseline to see who it went off of. Georgetown using one of their challenges there on this play.
A new rule put in this year where a coach can challenge, and it looks like it might be a successful challenge. Kind of hard to tell.
Does look on that view that it might have gone off the hands of Jasper Johnson last.
Think so. Jasper's left hand pushing it out of bounds.
Challenge is successful. The call is reversed. It will be Georgetown ball on the end line.
So because it was a successful, they still get to keep their timeout.
Travis, I got to admit, I'm a big fan of some of these new rules in college basketball. I think it really keeps the pace of the game moving.
Absolutely, especially towards the end of the game, getting, you know, a lot of these out of the way. And, you know, no question, a lot of these games last year were going 3 hours.
We all know you loved a good replay review, right?
Yeah. As a coach, you love it if it goes your way.
Georgetown trying to carry the momentum over. They lead by 15 here in the second half. Mole ready for three. Rebound for Chandler. Kentucky not had a field goal in over 3 minutes in this second half. During that stretch, 3 turnovers. This has been a shell of the Kentucky offense that we saw against Purdue. Johnson trying to jumpstart him. Dioubate with the offensive rebound. He's fouled.
Dioubate doing what he does, always around the ball, doing the dirty work. Right now, Kentucky's just having a tough time getting open looks. Every shot seems to be challenged. Nothing's coming easy.
Young lineup on the floor right now for Kentucky. Give and go. Here's Moreno down the alley, couldn't finish the slam. Chandler now falls down.
Great offensive play, though.
And that'll take us to a break here in Lexington. The Hoyas have Kentucky on upset watch here midway through the second half. The Georgetown Hoyas putting Kentucky on upset watch here with under 12 to go in the second half. KJ Lewis, Malik Mack leading the charge tonight for the Hoyas, a combined 30 points, shooting 48% from the field. Kentucky has not had many answers for these talented guards.
You know, right now Kentucky's really struggling offensively to get an open look. Everything's coming hard, and it's all because of the physicality of Georgetown. And then Georgetown, these two guards, Lewis and Mack, have really gotten into a rhythm and into a flow.
KJ Lewis in particular, coming over from Arizona this year, really making an impact, particularly in this second half.
Yeah, he averaged 11 points a game for a really, really good Arizona team last year. And they were really high on him coming here at Georgetown. Again, picked preseason a first-team All-Big East player. That's very unusual for a transfer who's not played in the league before.
They wanted him to become more of a focal point in this offense. He was a big-time scorer, as you mentioned, for Arizona, but in that Big 12 tournament last year, 15 points per game in their 3 contests. Went all the way to the Sweet 16 there with Arizona. Here's Moreno inside. And just some of these baskets not going down. In transition, Mole ready. Close out there from Chandler.
Great play coming out of the timeout. Just a really good defensive effort. Georgetown.
Harris-Smith drives inside and travels. And Cooley with some choice words for the official on his side.
Coach Cooley in midseason form.
Did you expect anything less?
No.
He doesn't even need coffee to have that type of energy here at 8 o'clock at night. Johnson almost lost the basketball. Kentucky right now struggling in the turnover department. 13 turnovers, and Georgetown's taking advantage. 20 points off turnovers for the Hoyas so far this evening.
Right now, Kentucky just needs to figure out a way to pick up the pace. Create some turnovers, run your offense a little bit quicker, more ball movement. Great play there. Get to the foul line, that helps. It stops the clock, score some points, get your press on.
And you get the sense that those are finishes that Moreno is going to finish more consistently as he continues to add more strength to that frame.
Yeah, he's already picked up quite a bit of strength over the summer, but he's going to get some really good low post shot blocking right now. Georgetown's got some they're big, they're physical, great shot blockers inside.
Moreno missing the first. Consensus top 25 prospect in this last year's class. His basketball just down the road in Georgetown, Kentucky. Kentucky's been doing their work on defense right now, and tough to score for the Hoyas lately. Williams was trying to throw it upstairs. Instead, Kentucky goes the other way. Oweh just 2 points in the second half. Here's Johnson. And after 7 made threes in that first half, Kentucky quiet in the second. And now Harris-Smith with the and one. Georgetown threatening to put this one away early.
Yeah, right now the shots, that wasn't a bad shot by Jasper Johnson. A good looking three, just doesn't go down. Kentucky doesn't get back on defense. You get an and one here by Georgetown. Right now the pace is totally in Georgetown's favor. Kentucky needs to change that by creating some turnovers, getting some second shots.
And if you're Georgetown, you have to be pleased because you came in tonight wanting to dictate that pace, and they've done just that.
They've done it's not easy to do here in Rupp Arena. It's not easy to do, and they've done a great job on both ends, playing tough, aggressive defense in the half court, and then in the half court offensively, making Kentucky guard.
Nothing easy tonight for Kentucky. Have not made a basket in over 5 minutes in this second half. It's got to change in a hurry. 5 on the shot clock. Dioubate downhill, and the finish goes. Double figures now for Mo Dioubate.
Good move late in the shot clock, going to his strong hand, the left. Right now, they just need to pick it up defensively. They're going to have to get multiple stops. Kentucky's looking to get 2 to 3 stops in a row to cut into this lead.
Those are those kills that you coaches talk about, or the cherry as Georgetown calls them.
Yeah, where you get 3 stops in a row. Right now, Kentucky could use some multiple stops right now. Right now, Georgetown's in a real rhythm.
One of the things Ed Cooley talked to us about was that this game was going to come down to 4 10-minute wars. The first 3 have gone to Georgetown here. Now they've got to close out.
Yeah, and this is a good test for both teams right now. For Georgetown being on the road, playing against Kentucky in Rupp Arena, and Kentucky, who pretty much dominated a Purdue team, now sees that they're back against the wall a little bit here.
All on Dioubate, putting Georgetown at the free throw line in the bonus here the rest of the way. First personal on Mo Dioubate. He's had a nice evening tonight. Did misspeak a moment ago, just 9 points, but 4 rebounds. He's handled the basketball well for most of the evening. Alifa Noah missing the front end of the 1-and-1. Kentucky right now running out of opportunities in this game as we go under 10 minutes to go in the second half. Oweh, a contested three. He's heading to the free throw line. Mole ready with his second personal.
Well, that's one way. Get fouled on the three-point shot, get to the foul line, make 3 free throws, get your press on. But right now, Kentucky's looking for who's going to take over. Who are you going to turn to? Obviously, Oweh can do it. They need him to step up, maybe get Cam Williams to make a couple of threes.
Ortega Oweh misses the first. Travis, we talked a lot about this, you and I, earlier today, about the transition from Oweh, who was relatively an unknown at this time of the year last year, coming over from Oklahoma. A good player, but not that marquee name. Suddenly now he's the preseason SEC Player of the Year, and that comes with some expectations that he's having to learn how to manage.
You're exactly right. Expectation is the right word. This time last year, he was a good player coming from Oklahoma. Now he is the preseason SEC Player of the Year, and every single person, he's first on the scouting report of every opposing team. It's a different role for him, but he doesn't need to change who he is and what made him become the SEC Player of the Year, and that's his physicality, how hard he works, led by his defense, his leadership, making plays. That's what's made him great.
Kentucky back within 13, eyeing a stop on this possession. Deep in the shot clock. Noah had the mismatch and draws the foul on Oweh. A chorus of boos here inside Rupp Arena.
Well, Kentucky, the fans are looking for something right now to really get excited about, and it looked like it was going to be a good defensive stop.
Noah back at the free throw line. Can't simulate that type of noise in a practice gym.
No. Right now, Kentucky's best defense is getting Georgetown missing free throws.
And a late foul there goes against Jeremiah Williams. With Kentucky in the bonus, Colin Chandler will head to the free throw line. You get the sense that there's still a path back into this game for Kentucky, but you've got to start to sprint down that path quickly.
Yeah, Kentucky will make a run at this. They just have to continue to get stops. Hope Georgetown can miss a few free throws. Both teams are in the bonus. And continue to get to the foul line. It's the best way to make a comeback late in the game is get to the foul line while the clock is stopped. Score points while the clock is stopped and be able to get your press on and play some aggressive defense.
Chandler hits a pair. Another strong night for Colin Chandler. 8 points, 5 rebounds, a pair of assists.
Crowd's getting loud now. They're looking for some defensive stops here for Kentucky to go on a spurt.
Some full court pressure from Kentucky, and Colin Chandler pleading that one went off of the Georgetown offensive player. Not going to get the benefit of the call. Caleb Williams, the inbounder. And Georgetown handling the pressure well. Lewis into the paint, threw it up. Second chance here for Williams. And that one goes in.
Second shots. Right now, Kentucky, you got to come up with every loose ball, every rebound, every possession is crucial.
Chandler downhill. And we'll head right back to the free throw line.
Drive. Chandler taking what the defense is giving him. Chandler's an athletic player, but again, get to this foul line, score points from the foul line.
And I think if you're Kentucky tonight, without Denzel Aberdeen and Jalen Lowe, you love just the further experience that Colin Chandler's getting, because this is a player who hasn't played a ton of college basketball.
No, he was put in this situation a little bit at the end of the year last year with Lamont Butler's injuries and things like that, and he got some great experience. All this is going to help Kentucky down the road.
Checking in for Kentucky is Jelavic.
Jelavic coming back in for Dioubate. Add another shooter on the floor if you're Kentucky. Chandler hits the second. Mack directing traffic. Oweh coughed it up. Williams thought about the three, passed it up. And now Kentucky resetting with Oweh at the top. Oweh downhill on the bigger. Oweh draws the personal and will head to the free throw line.
I like what Kentucky's doing. Kentucky's putting a lot of pressure on Georgetown's defense. Now that Kentucky's being the aggressor, rather than allowing Georgetown to get into them, they're attacking Georgetown's defense, getting to the rim, getting fouled, scoring points from the foul line. But now Kentucky, you can feel it, is now becoming the aggressor.
And as we touched on earlier, for large swaths of the game, it really has felt like Georgetown has really determined the pace of this game.
They really have on both ends. Offensively, they've done a great job of running their offense, getting to their second, third options, and defense allowing their physicality to get Kentucky into late shot clock situations.
15 for Oweh. Kentucky back within 10. Still over 8 minutes to go in this game. And for the first time in a while, Big Blue Nation rising to their feet here inside Rupp Arena. Mack's been the go-to all night for Georgetown. Inside, count it. Iwuchukwu heading to the free throw line.
Great play there by Malik Mack. Using the ball screen, drawing two defenders. As you see here, again, late rotation by Chandler, but a great job by Malik Mack with his head up.
Leading the 9th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats by 12 here with just under 8 minutes to go in the second half. Malik Mack has been excellent, but Travis, you and I were just talking. We didn't think it was going to be a strength of Georgetown in the paint tonight against Kentucky. They've dominated.
Well, if you look at Georgetown's first exhibition game against George Washington, their inside game was pretty much non-existent. Tonight, it's been a strength for Georgetown.
Look at the tail of the tape here in the second half. Georgetown hitting a lot of shots. Kentucky doing most of their work from the free throw line, 11 of 15. They trailed by 7 at the break. The Hoyas balloon the lead to 17 with 10:36 to go. Kentucky methodically working their way back in, but an and one opportunity here for Iwuchukwu. And he'll convert it. 11 points in this game for the senior out of Nigeria.
And made some big blocks, some really good defensive plays as well as rebounding.
He was a player that Ed Cooley and this staff was really excited about, really hopeful for this season. He showed up tonight on a big stage. Oweh inside, short with the basket. Chandler, long three, no. Oweh was trying to follow it up. Great passing here, Williams for three, in and out. And another offensive rebound. And that's going to put Brandon Garrison at the free throw line. The Cats working hard on that possession.
Yeah, I love Kentucky. Right now, your back is against the wall. You got to play a little bit desperate, and that's what, when you're playing desperate, you got to come up with some offensive rebounds. All those were good looks, good threes. May not go in, but at this point, you've got to send 3 to 4 guys to the offensive glass to hopefully get some second shots and get to the free throw line.
That foul was on Caleb Williams, his 4th in this contest. Colin Chandler also out on the floor right now for Kentucky with 4 personals.
And Jasper Johnson replaces Colin Chandler.
Chandler out as Johnson checks back in. Dioubate heading to the scorer's table. Garrison hits a pair.
Also checking in is Mo Dioubate.
Jelavic coming back out at the 4.
Subbing defense or offense for defense at this point.
Kentucky showing that full court pressure. Lewis brings it up the floor. 11 points for the transfer from Arizona. Driving on Noah. Throws it up and it goes. The veteran taking advantage of the sophomore Trent Noah.
Just a clear out ISO play.
Garrison, that's going to be a jump ball. It'll give it right back to Georgetown.
Yeah, just an ISO. You got all the action on the right side. He drives left. Right now, Georgetown still playing at their own pace. Walking the ball up. Doing the same play.
Step back three, Lewis. 16 tonight. "16 points, the lead for Georgetown." A hushed Rupp Arena. Dioubate has the mismatch, spins into the double team. Johnson, that was a 2. Foot was on the line.
Great inside-outside play. Good unselfish play by Dioubate. Great shot by Jasper Johnson.
Kentucky still without a 3-point field goal in the second half after they had 7 in the first half. Caleb Williams still out there with 4 fouls, loses the basketball. Williams, Kentucky needs this. Won't get it. And a foul goes against Kentucky, I believe.
All good shots, just not falling.
Foul's on Garrison.
Yep.
A red hot first half from downtown for Kentucky, but 0 of 9 from 3 here in the second half. We touched on it at halftime. That was the silver lining that kept Kentucky in this game, but it's disappeared here in the second half.
Yeah, I think obviously coming out of halftime, Ed Cooley made a point of emphasis to try to slow Kentucky down from the three-point line. But Kentucky's got good shots. They're not bad shots. They just haven't fallen.
And you're going to have nights like that. You know all about that as a head coach, right?
Absolutely.
They're the ones that keep you up at night.
Checking in for Kentucky are Oweh and
Oweh with a strong performance tonight. The free throw giving him 12 on the night.
Yeah, he's been strong on both ends.
Spent the first 2 seasons of his career at Southern Cal, was a highly touted prospect out of high school. He was a top 15 recruit in that class of 2022, but getting another chance here at Georgetown, making an impact here in the exhibition game against Kentucky. And hits both free throws. 14 now for Oweh. Lead back to 16 for Georgetown. Oweh flips it, Garrison for 3. Kentucky still searching for their first tray here in the second half. But a foul underneath, and if that's on Caleb Williams, it is. That's going to be his 5th. Caleb Williams is fouled out of this game. 7 points, a couple of rebounds, and assist. His night here in Lexington is done.
What three-point shot kept Kentucky in at first half? This second half, it's the free throw line and second shots. They just need a few of these threes to go down.
Kentucky 13 of 17 from the free throw line here in this second half.
But, you know, we're sitting here obviously close to the floor. We see it. Georgetown's physicalness, aggressiveness hasn't changed. You still see it on defense. They haven't fatigued one single bit. Their defensive intensity hasn't changed.
We touched on it multiple times. You felt like their defense was going to be their calling card, but the offense has been a pleasant surprise here tonight in Lexington.
When you get 2 players like Mack and Lewis who are having a hot hand, they can put up some points very, very quickly, especially as good as they are one-on-one wise.
Dioubate, 1 of 2. Second Kentucky player in double figures now with 10. Oweh has 15. And in Kentucky going to foul in transition. Both teams in the double bonus the rest of the way. Seems like we might see a steady diet of free throws down the stretch.
Yeah, especially because Kentucky's going to have to start pressing and trapping a little bit more to try to speed the game up, get the ball back. Because Georgetown's going to do everything he can to try to control the pace of the game.
So KJ Lewis back at the free throw line. The first will miss. $16 points so far tonight. And a much better percentage from the field. 7 of 11 this evening, was just 2 of 11 in their first exhibition against George Washington.
Right now, Kentucky's looking for Oweh to take this game over.
And they will count that basket on the goaltending.
Great back cut, good pass by Moreno. Allows Kentucky to set their press up. They've got to get aggressive here. Even though Georgetown's in the double bonus, you still got to get aggressive, try to get the ball back.
Oweh on Mack. Malik Mack, 19 points tonight to lead all scorers. Good battle in the interior right now with Iwechekwu and Moreno. Our path back into this game if you're Kentucky.
You got to make some threes. You got to get the inside, outside.
Chandler finds Moreno. Just his second basket of the evening. Hit a 3 early on in this contest.
And now defensive end, you're going to have to get some steals, some deflections, some turnovers.
Mack throwing it inside. Chandler comes up with it. Heavy pressure right now from Georgetown. Kentucky can't get it to Oweh. Dioubate with it. Drives into the paint, downhill, and heading right back to the free throw line. Dioubate a bit slow to get up. Kentucky on the ropes. Georgetown up by 12 with under 4 to go in the second half. Back inside Rupp Arena. Exhibition play, the second and final game for both sides. The action all begins on Monday. Georgetown going to open the season against Morgan State, but not an easy road after that. You have to face Buzz Williams and Maryland, and Clemson's been a really good team over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, you know, that's if things get for real from this point on. But I think these exhibition games really help these teams prepare for the regular season, the non-conference. It's something that's been needed for a long time.
Meanwhile, for Kentucky, a couple of dates against Nichols and Valpo next week before the matchup on everyone's mind here in the Commonwealth, Louisville versus Kentucky. And it's going to be fun to see as that rivalry begins to percolate once again, how that game's going to play out a lot earlier than it's ever been played.
Yeah, it's kind of strange looking at that, and they're playing so early. Usually that game's in December at some point, but no, Louisville's got a good basketball team. That should be a great game.
Mark Pope's Kentucky Wildcats trailing by 12 here with 3:45 to go in this second half. Mo Dioubate will be at the free throw line for a pair. Kentucky is trailed by double figures for the entirety of this second half. Dioubate hits the first. Kentucky got back within 10 at the 8:08 mark before an and one opportunity that stretched it back to 12. And they're going to waive that free throw opportunity off. It looked like Dioubate entered the lane ahead of time.
A little too quick, but it still allows them to set up the press here. And they need to get a little more aggressive in the press here. Get a little more aggressive, try to turn Georgetown over, get some easy, quick points.
Oweh's been on Mack for most of this second half. He scored 14 in the first half, so far just 5 in the second. Dioubate on Lewis. Warriors trying to get into their offense late in the shot clock. Mack steps into the three, misses it. Oweh comes down with the board. Kentucky still without a three in this second half. Chandler had one blocked. Now 0 for 11 from downtown. Chandler penetrates, throws it up. Offensive rebound, kick out. Williams for three, short again. There's been a lid on the basket from downtown for Kentucky. Dioubate, no good. And finally, Mack comes down with it.
Kentucky just can't buy one from three-point line.
Really needed to get something out of that possession.
Yeah, that was, put a lot of effort in that possession. Second shots, good looks. Now Georgetown's going to be very deliberate.
We saw them take it deep in the shot clock last possession. Shot clock's at 5 here. Jeremiah Williams gets into the body of Cam Williams, and he will shoot three.
Georgetown likes to do this. They go to the old flex offense that everybody used to run late in the game when they got a lead. It allows them to make multiple passes off multiple screens. And they got through the flex offense there probably about 2 to 3 times in one possession.
What makes that flex offense hard to defend against?
A lot of screening, a lot of down screen, a lot of screen the screener action. It makes it tough for defenses to shoot the gaps, but if you're wanting a delay type game, the flex is great to go to.
Jeremiah Williams missing the first of three, is many here inside Rupp Arena starting to head to the exits.
Yeah, I still think, I'd like to see Kentucky pick up their press, make a little run at it here. But right now, it's just Georgetown playing at the pace that they want.
Trent Noah checks back in as Oweh comes off the floor. Oweh playing 26 minutes in this game as we get the free throw called here by Ed Cooley. Travis, if you're Georgetown, what are some big takeaways that you can get from this evening's game?
Yeah, Georgetown, I think you got to be very pleased with their big men inside. You know what you have guard-wise. You know what you have in Mack. You know what you have in Lewis. You know you have some really good wings. The question, what type of production are we going to get out of our big men? And tonight, it was sky's the limit. They got great production from scoring points to blocking shots to rebounding the basketball. Now, on the other side, Kentucky, and not to take anything away from Georgetown, because I think Georgetown's an NCAA-type basketball team without question. Kentucky probably has 3 starters out that didn't play in this game, and Aberdeen, Jalen Lowe, and Quaintance. Those 3 guys are obviously difference makers for Kentucky, but this is a great test for, a great opportunity for both teams. Early in the season, it doesn't count. It's going to make your basketball team better. This is going to make Kentucky better without question. I think the Purdue game is going to make Kentucky better. This is going to make Kentucky better.
And I think that was so interesting when you talked to Mark Pope, when you talked to Ed Cooley before this game. Both were excited about what they were going to learn about their teams. And I go back to something Mark Pope said ahead of the Purdue game last week. He said, it's only going to show us where we're at right now, not necessarily where we're going to be at come March.
Yeah, a lot of times, unfortunately, you learn more sometimes about your team in a loss than you do in a win. And I think this is going to help both teams.
Colin Chandler got the start at point guard tonight with Aberdeen and Lowe both out with injuries. He's had a nice evening, and we'll head to the free throw line here.
Kentucky has lived at the free throw line the second half.
These next 2 attempts will be attempts 21 and 22 of this second half. Kentucky shot 33 free throws this evening. Just 63% though from the charity stripe as Chandler improves that percentage a little bit.
But right now for the game, Kentucky's 33% from the field and just 24% from the three-point line.
$11 points tonight for Colin Chandler, would tie his career high that he set against LSU back in March last year if this game were to count. Certainly taking advantage of the opportunity that he was given tonight. Malik Mack has been a star tonight for Georgetown. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Harris Smith looking to the interior. Now drives on Williams, threw it up. Moreno comes down with it. Just over a minute and some change left in this game. Georgetown's going to come out on top. The team's, though, going to head into their season openers next week with 0-0 records.
But this is so much better for both teams than playing, you know, maybe a Division II or Division III school. You know, this is great for the fans as well. TV viewing audience. This is good for college basketball, these type games.
Iwuchekwu, strong showing tonight at the 5 for Georgetown. Here's Mack, one final 3, and into 20 points is Malik Mack. 22 tonight. He came into Rupp Arena on a mission this evening, and he's delivered a win for Georgetown. Chandler trying to answer. Bank wasn't open. And now the run out here for Lewis. And he'll throw it down. An exclamation point for the Hoyas here tonight. And that'll have the fans back at Toombs Bar in Washington, D.C. celebrating. Great passing here, Dioubate with a 2 of his own.
I think we learned tonight Georgetown's got a really good basketball team. Kentucky's going to be one of the top teams in the country. This just gives them an opportunity to learn that I think the biggest thing you come out of tonight is this Georgetown team is for real. They've got a chance to have a really good year.
Well, the Hilltop will be pleased with how this one plays out. Georgetown out on top, 84-70 here in Lexington. They improved to 3-0 all-time against Kentucky. And now both teams await the start of the regular season here in the 25-26 season.
Yeah, exactly what both teams needed. They played 2 good basketball teams. Now they get to go back to the drawing board a little bit and start preparing for games that actually count. Kentucky got to see both sides. They got to see a great game against Purdue where everything kind of went right. They can build on that, and then they see some areas that they need to get better at against this Georgetown team. And Georgetown, you know, again, a good win against a George Washington team, then obviously coming into Rupp Arena and getting a good win. I think it gives their team a lot of confidence.
The win for Georgetown, snapping a 34-game winning streak for Kentucky in exhibition play. Georgetown out on top, and Malik Mack led the charge tonight for Georgetown. 22 points for the junior out of Oxon Hill, Maryland, the hometown kid, putting on a show on the road tonight.
I love his pace. I love his demeanor on the court. Just does a great job of controlling the pace of the game, and one of the great scorers in college basketball.
Mack with 22 tonight, 2 of 7 from 3, but hit 9 of his 16 shots from the field, and he's going to come around and join us here on this broadcast. A strong showing for one Malik Mack here this evening. Georgetown 14-point winners on the road in this final exhibition game of the season. As Malik Mack joins us here on the SEC Network broadcast. Malik, this was a great performance for you guys tonight. This is a new look roster. How pleased were you with how you guys came out and played in this environment?
I think we was prepared to come out and handle the environment. We got a lot of veterans on this team, so everybody's been through this experience, and we were just ready to play.
You know, I think when you talk about Georgetown's team this year, you obviously get a lot of the notoriety, a lot of the guards do. But I thought your big men tonight played one heck of a game on both ends, scoring the ball, blocking shots, rebounding. Can you talk a little bit about your big men play tonight?
Yeah, Vince and Julius did a great job tonight, you know. Vince, they both did their job, you know. They did what we asked them to do. Vince protected the rim. Julius started us off early, and they both combined to have a great game. That's what we expect out of our bigs. You know, we try to keep them focused and locked in, and tonight they was locked in.
Now, no secret, at the end of the year, you guys were dealing with injuries last year. You had to carry a heavy load. How nice is it to have someone like KJ Lewis in the backcourt playing next to you?
It's great. When defenses try to take one of us away, that means one of us got a secondary defender on us. So us being on the court at the same time, just making each other's job easier. You know, we trust each other, and we're gonna keep leaning on each other throughout the season.
I know Coach Cooley is a soft coach, doesn't say a lot in practice, but no, I've been really impressed with how physical defensively you guys play. I thought you did a great job of taking Kentucky out of a lot of their sets that you guys saw probably worked against Purdue. And you watched the Purdue game and saw how well they executed. I thought tonight you guys did a great job defensively with your physicality. Can you talk a little bit about Coach Cooley and that's kind of his identity as a coach, that hard-nosed, aggressive style of basketball?
Yeah, that's what Coach emphasizes every day in practice, being physical. The Big East is a physical conference, so we got to exceed the physicality of other teams in the Big East, and that's something we talk about every day in practice, defense and physicality. And if we do those two things, everything else will handle itself.
Well, Malik, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck throughout the rest of the season. Look forward to see what you and your teammates are able to accomplish.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Georgetown out on top here in Lexington tonight, 84-70 over the 9th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. A fun evening here in Lexington. So for Travis Ford, our producer, Daniel Gibbons, the rest of our hardworking crew, I'm Noah Frary, saying so long from Lexington. The college basketball season is here. Both of these teams opening their season next week. This has been a presentation of SEC Network Basketball on the SEC Network.